you're actually going to make better decisions than if you were just judging your actions based on past failures or future outcomes. So one thing that I think that you should be able to do is be able to maintain that sense of presence, so that way you can also maintain the presence of the best possible decision making that you can have. There's a lot of people that and I'm included in that, you know what I mean? I'm not an exception to this rule. Everybody does it. It's just the way our mind works. You're automatically going to revert and go back to either a past action, and you're not going to want to make that same mistake because of what it brought you in your present. And you're not going to want to make that same mistake, so you're going to be very hesitant in trying new things because you're going to be so caught up in the future and what you know you need to happen. So what I would say is, you know, in order to maintain your level of presence, you've got to give yourself up. You've got to surrender to the now. You've got to surrender to whatever the hell brought you here. If you made every wrong decision getting to this point in your life, surrender to that. Have the humility to say, you know what, I fucked up. I was a fucked up human being. I didn't really make the best decisions, because that is when the change is going to happen. That's when you're going to realize, hey, in this moment right now, I'm telling myself that I've made mistakes. And in that moment as well, when you're telling yourself that, there's no judgment. The judgment comes after you've already stated it. During that moment where you can admit it and admit the humility and be like, you know what, I made a mistake. Boom. That is when that's when it hits you. That's when it hits you. You made the change. You're presently in that moment to where you can make the best decision possible. But what happens is you judge yourself. So let's say after you hit that boom, you're like, man, I fucked up. That's when you start judging yourself. That little bit of, okay, there's no action after that. You're just saying, you're stating something, you're feeling it. Okay, man, I fucked up. Now I'm going to judge myself based on the past and not to make that same mistake, so that way I can have a better future. When in reality, all you've got to chalk it up to is, damn, I fucked up. I'm beautiful though. Like, I don't have to make the same mistake. I don't have to even recount this mistake. I just need to know what the lesson is behind it and keep going forward. And you can't go forward if you're constantly looking backwards. You won't go forward if you're constantly looking forward. And Paul Selig actually had a really good example for that. He said this big dude, one of his friends, Brent, is like a 6 foot tall guy. He's really strong. He's walking. He's sitting there saying, like, what am I here for? What am I here for? What's my purpose? What am I here for? A tree falls in front of him. He's the only one who can lift it up, right? So he lifts up the tree. There's a ton of people who can't get wherever the hell he's trying to go because the tree's in the way. He's strong enough to actually lift it up, move it, so that everybody behind him has a path. But all that he sees is, after he does it, is, what am I here for? What am I here for? And I think that we get so caught up in what our purpose is, we're not seeing the impacts, even in just a small form, even in children. You're not seeing the impact that you make, but your kids are seeing the stress. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just work on that. Just be present. Don't judge yourself. Don't be hanging on to the past. Don't be looking into the future. Don't be even trying to guess what could happen. I get that people say, like, you know, prepare for everything and, you know, be prepared and blah, blah, blah. But that comes with present decision making. If you don't judge yourself and you're making great decisions in the present moment, good things are going to happen. And when good things happen, you know to keep doing that. And when things don't happen that aren't good, don't dwell on it. Just keep going, because that's what was meant to happen. It's meant to, even if it's a mishap, it's meant to push you into a different realm of where you need to be, which is something that you can't do if you're constantly looking at fucking gold over here and you have all this residual income that's investment related here. So good vibes, guys. Remember to always be present.